favor. This is One More, please. First of all, thank you guys for being with us. This is Richie with Otra, por favor. Can I have your name and the name of your band?
Yep, I'm Erin Walter.
I'm Andrew Solin.
And we are Parkr Woodland, or 2/3 of Parkr Woodland.
What's the other third, if you can have her name?
Yeah, Carrie Cinquina is our awesome drummer, and we'll be meeting up with her later today, but it's South by, so everybody's everywhere.
What do you guys feel about South by this year? What are the shows you guys are playing?
We have our official showcase on Monday night at Zilker Brewing, so we're super psyched for that. We played an unofficial showcase last night at Crowbar in Southeast Austin, and that's where Parkr Woodland is from, so I love playing in Southeast Austin. And then we'll play at Continental Club on Tuesday at noon, which is such a classic South by, like, day party. That'll be fun.
Have you guys, so our audience can get to know more about you guys. Can you give us, like, where you're from originally, and how did your childhood shape the person you are today?
Thank you. Well, I'm from Austin, Texas. I grew up here. I went to Travis High School on Old Torf, and kind of grew up. My sister played soccer. I know people on the show, care about that. Like, I grew up in a community that was predominantly, Tejano, Mexican American, and that culture really is important to me. And then I grew up here in Austin, where music is so important to me. So everything from, like, going to the Broken Spoke for country to going to rock clubs like Liberty Lunch and Emos, was a very important part of growing up living here in Austin.
How about you, sir?
I'm from New York, and I think that the most important thing about living in New York City is how culturally diverse that city is. And I think that the best thing about it for me is you're living in very close quarters with all kinds of different people. Everybody is different and yet the same. Like, you're all riding in the same subway train. You're all going to work, so it's kind of a great way to experience life.
I've gone to New York a couple of times, and seeing New York, seeing how much of a melting pot it is, and then when seeing that here in Austin, I think you get to learn not just about, like, ourselves, but about other people. I see, like, your music is about, we were talking earlier, a little bit of, sort of the resistance, but it's also unifying. Can you touch a little more on like, your music and what do you want people to know about Parkr Woodland?
Yeah, so Parkr Woodland, I didn't do it on purpose, but we realized later that I had written us a theme song, The World's on Fire and We Still Fall in Love. And so I think of that as kind of like the thesis of the world's on fire. Like, we face the things that are hard, right? There's so much oppression, and there's so much struggle right now. And even, when I wrote that song in 2018, it's only more since then. But so we face it. We don't put our heads in the sand about it. But then we still fall in love. There's the joy. There's the beauty. There's the fun of being in a rock and roll band, So we're a trio. We're all really good friends. And so we're seeking to make fun, like, liberating rock and roll music so people can come to shows and hear songs about, like, human rights and, unifying messages, while also just, like, letting go of the things that they've been, like, weighed down with maybe in their work week or what's going on in the news, Yeah, what do you want to say about that?
I think that it's important to create an energy that's like a joyful sense of community, and we really try to bring that to the shows and bring that to the people that are coming to see us.
I think, music is a celebration, right? But there's times that, like, in culture, like saying live, I always say, like, I love Hispanic culture, but it's not perfect at times. But I feel like learning how to, one, accept that, but also have something to where, hey, people can come and feel safe. I feel like that's sort of the goal as musicians for you guys, I see.
Absolutely. I mean, nothing is perfect, so we're never trying to pretend, we can always grow, right? But we want to create a space where queer people feel celebrated and loved in our music, our families, people of all ages, right? Like, I love for there to be kids and teenagers. We love when, like, our parents or their friends come to shows. We love to see, like, diversity culturally in our crowds, and we think about that, too, when we're inviting other bands to play with us. Like, we talk about like who we want to invite on bills with us and what kind of shows we want to play, because I also think that like you don't have to have music that's exactly the same in order to have a great show. If anything, that's what's great about South by, is you can experience all different kinds of music and different cultures. I also am really into like Afrobeat and Latin music. I've been doing Zumba at the Town Lake YMCA in Austin for like, I don't know, 15 years or something. So even though I play like English language rock and roll, I still like, I love to get to see other kinds and styles of music too. That's like one of my favorite things about this that we're in right now.
I feel like that's a cool thing about South by. For example, you can have in one place Afrobeats, Western, and then Latin music. So I like that, because then you bring a lot of people together. I mean, there's thousands of people in the city, a lot of traffic, chaos, but it's controlled chaos. So yeah, what do you guys like say? Can you guys give me a little more like about South by? When was your first South by you guys performed, or what's it like? What's your favorite moment of this festival?
Yeah, well, we're celebrating with Carrie 3 years of this lineup of like the core of Parkr Woodland. Our first show, the three of us, was South by Southwest 3 years ago, so it's pretty special to us. I, growing up in Austin, remember when you could get a South by Southwest wristband at HEB for $15. So it's definitely changed, But like for me, the South by thing that's so special is that like just discovering a band you had never seen before, going to breakfast at Schultz Garden, or like getting tacos at Cisco's and stumbling into see a band from Indonesia that is making a circle pit at 9:30 in the morning. That's my favorite part about it. I don't know, you?
Mine too. Just the fact that the whole world descends on our city, and it's just like everybody comes to us, so you can go on a world tour of what's happening in music without ever leaving your hometown.
Right.
It's pretty cool. It's weird this year with the convention center being torn down. It's like a little harder to know where to go, but we're finding our way. And like this morning I ran into a bunch of different like, artists and label people and radio friends, and so it's almost like a family reunion, even with people from your hometown too, which I love. I love a family reunion.
Oh, yeah. I feel like Austin, especially a lot of local bands play, so you're gonna perform with one point in the time, like during the event or the festival.
Yeah.
Before we close, I want to ask you if you can name 3 songs from your repertoire in different moods. One is when you're happy, one is when you're sad, breakup sad, that.
Yeah.
And then the other one could be when you're ready to like tear shit up and just go out and do work.
Okay. Happy. What do you think? Our songs are like such an emotional journey in every single song. We could get all those emotions in one song.
I think that Ladder at Your Window is pretty happy. I think that, and I think World's on Fire is really celebratory.
That one can be a smashing one too. A friend of mine puts that on her workout jams for smashing the patriarchy. Yeah. World's on Fire is good for that. I think Stranger probably for sad. Like Stranger is this epic emotional journey, lots of great guitars, but also there's moments it's about grief. So Stranger's a good one for that. Yeah, so we hit Ladder at Your Window for happy, Stranger for sad, World's on Fire for smashing things, but we should also talk about Police on My Back is a good one for that. Police on My Back is our like anti-ICE, like we should not all be like constantly policed anthem. It's a cover, but it's a song we do in all of our shows, and so that one's also good for, I think, for your workout jams too.
Yeah, for sure. Get
your strength up for the resistance.
Now I know what to do whenever I go run.
Yes, yes.
Last question. In our platform, we highlight, what do you do? One, with your craft, and also How do you take care of your mental health? Work-life balance. What do you guys do to remain sane? It could be something simple as taking a walk or eloquent as going to the loom on a weekend. What do you guys do personally to take care of your mental aspect?
What a great question. Do you want to go first since I keep going first?
Okay. I think that if you are a musician, I think that being able to play music as much as you can, I think the fact that it is good for your mental health is what draws a lot of people to music and to become musicians. I do believe that was a unconscious driving force for me because it feels so calming and pure to be playing music in any capacity. So I would just say following whatever artistic path you have is a very, very positive way to take care of yourself. And that's how I feel anyway.
I have so many things. I'm like very passionate about this, but I serve on the advisory council for the Sims Foundation, which is an organization for music industry, like mental health and wellness. And so first of all, I'd want to say to any musician friends who might hear this or people who work in venues, like to reach out for mental health support if you need it. Like the Sims Foundation is here for that. For me personally, there's a bunch of things. It's dancing, like I said before, it's music, like we pour our hearts out in our songs, and that does help. Reaching out to friends, like our friendship as a band is really important, and so like getting to talk to someone you trust about what you're going through. But yeah, just reaching out to people and like talking. I feel like with social media and texting and everything, people don't pick up the phone as much as they used to, and sometimes that just makes the world of difference to just hear somebody's voice and get to talk. And this sunshine, going for a walk, you said, all of those things, like just remembering those human elements that keep us spiritually healthy. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. Well, Parkr Woodland, thank you guys for one of the many interviews we're gonna do during South by. How can people reach out to you guys?
Well, all of our info is at parkrwoodland.com, and if you're in Austin, it's like Parker Lane and Woodland Avenue, the exit off I-35. That's our neighborhood in Southeast Austin, so parkrwoodland.com. We're on socials, we're streaming everywhere, and we're out and about. If you're out and about, we'd love to meet you and come to our showcases and say hi. Thank you.